Hello and welcome to the Solve Network. My name is Shane Borza and I'll be your host. Along with my co-founder Benjamin Goss, we'd like to welcome you. Our mission is to provide solutions and create a network of experts for you to learn from. Now this show is a little different than most podcasts as it is actually a live call held twice a month. If you can, please join us on the first and third Thursday of each month so you can get your questions answered live and direct from the experts themselves. If you're an expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com so you can be a part of the network. And now, here's our show. Today on the Solve Network, we have a bonus episode with an exclusive discussion and Q&A with Jennie Poppenger, the Facebook marketing expert. If you heard the last episode, you know that she has a lot of information on how you can set your Facebook site up to help promote your business. And if not, go back and listen to it.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
Hi, I'm Shane Borza, your content creator coach. I have 2 books on filmmaking, Film Notes, where you learn to write, direct, and produce, and the Film Notes Workbook, where you can learn checklists and paperwork to streamline creating your content. Available at shaneborza.com. I also have filmmaker resources like the Paperwork Bundle with over 300 documents, the Sound Effects Bundle with almost 3,000 files, and the Music Bundle featuring 900 tracks of all genres. Want to build your professional credits? Become an associate producer and get listed on IMDb. Let me help you get your art out into the world.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
One of my friends is a coach, and she was wondering about, and you were mentioning earlier about like how Google owns YouTube, and I know Facebook owns Instagram, and so she's curious how to work either together or like cross platforms, and how to kind of 10x the impact of one over the other, and whether because predominantly she posts on Instagram every day or a couple times a day, and she actually just did her first she had an event on Monday where she had a speaker. She organized a call and they were raising money for a charity, and so she was trying to get as much exposure to this call as possible. And she told me, she's like, I don't know how to do this. I either feel like I'm not posting enough or I'm bombarding people. And she's like, this is obviously the first time I'm doing this, so I'm going to figure it out and learn through this process. But she's like, if I do this again, I just feel like there's got to be a better way to kind of leverage these 2 platforms off each other, because they probably work together better than what I'm doing. And I said, that's a great question. We're doing a call tonight. You should come and ask it. She's like, I have a client. I can't, but please see if there's any ideas there.
Yeah. Thank you for that. What's her name?
So her name is Lindsay. She's down in San Diego.
Okay, great. Well, although Facebook owns Instagram, and Facebook and Instagram play very well together, they are different animals. Facebook has, as we mentioned earlier in the conversation, so many different options that you can use to create posts and events and polls and all different kinds of things, right? Whereas Instagram is a much more limited platform. You can post a video or a picture, right? And most of the posts on Instagram don't have as much text or content. So it works great for photographers, right? And I would think restaurants, foodies, that kind of thing. It's so much more visual. It's a visual platform. I don't see the same response with comments and interaction on Instagram, or it's a different type of interaction than on Facebook, right? So you can use some of the same content on Facebook and Instagram, and of course you can share back and forth all you want, but people are going to know that that you're kind of cheating, and that you didn't create it specifically for that. So my recommendation is if you have a picture that you're going to use on Instagram and a short little thing about it, you can use the same picture on Facebook, but maybe say a little bit more, try and get engagement. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to be sharing this recording with her, so she'll be able to hear that. But
yeah,
I think that's really helpful. And then the next one is we have a friend who's been on some of these calls, James. He's a coach as well. And so I'm a coach. So most of the people that I've been having come on these calls are all coaches of some sort. And one of the things that he has been talking about is he has his own practice and he has all social media things. And as knowing the place, I guess, of what to post where when you have both personal accounts and business pages. And if there's any hard lines or separations or crossover through just having a page in your name that's I'm me and I'm this thing, as opposed to this is just me talking about stuff I like, and then separating that out into a business page, or just kind of having one, is there any benefit to just saying, I only have a business page and that's it, or I have a personal page where I do whatever I want, and then separately have a business page that's more professional, or any combination of trying to encourage your friends to your business page so you can get more likes, or trying to make some of your professional facing stuff more inclusive of who you are as a person, and kind of trying to figure out how to negotiate all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do get that question surprisingly a lot. So, and by the way, I have a business coach. I have had a business coach since before I even started my business, and it has been awesome. Cheryl Jackson with Live Life Fully Coaching, and I recommend anyone in business has a business coach. She's got me through some really challenging times. I had a 7-year itch in my business where I did not crash and burn, but I really lost motivation. And she really helped me through that challenging time to be back where I really enjoy it. Business page, personal page. You know what? I have 8 grandchildren. Been married for 25 years. I've never posted either of those things on my professional page, face to face. I could, but on my professional page, I share helpful tips about social marketing. I share posts from companies that are using Facebook in a creative way that I think is brilliant, and I praise them for it. I share about upcoming networking events sometimes, or if I'm speaking someplace. So anything that fits my professional life, right? That doesn't mean I couldn't share something about my personal life, but I'd really have to find a way to make it fit over there. And I really want to keep those separate. So I've got about 800 people on my business page, and I know what they're there for. They're there for my professional expertise to help them in their social marketing, right? Why have people connected with me on my personal page? Because they want to connect with me, just the person. They may or may not know what I do or care what I do, but they're my friend, right? So about once a month, I'll share a post from my business page to my personal page and say, hey, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I just celebrated my 9th anniversary with my business. Isn't that crazy? I never even thought of myself as an entrepreneur. Hallelujah, or whatever, And thanks to all my clients or something like that. And I think that's really appropriate. But, I know that not everyone shares the same distinctions that I do. And some people, it might bleed over way more than it does with me. So for instance, if your wife, Jenna, decided to open a clothing store for kids' clothes, and she had a business page and a personal page, that's just going to bleed over like crazy, right? Because she's going to use your beautiful kids as her models. So that would be a perfect example of when it's just going to cross over all the time and people aren't going to know or care. Or they might know, but they won't care because it fits. Does that make sense? So if Ben has an Italian restaurant and he wants to post some pictures of his kids eating spaghetti, an Italian fare at his restaurant on his business page, that's going to be awesome. Those are some ideas I can think of that would work. But in a lot of cases, I think keep it a little bit separate.
So, and I have one last one, which is, and this will apply to probably most everyone who's going to listen to the call or is on the call. So I have a friend who's working on various projects, and Ben and I are each writing books. We're all trying to develop things, whether it's a retreat or some kind of a workshop, or we have something that's in the pipeline, and at some point we're going to want to kind of broadcast it. And so I have a friend who said, I have some things that I'm working on, and I know you mentioned you can have all these different aspects of Facebook be used to order food and buy stuff and sell stuff and all these things. So they're I have a Facebook page, I have a business page, and I have things that I want to market. They're not done yet, but I want to pre-plan so that when they are done, what to do instead of what they've done before, which is I wrote an ebook and I just kind of announced to people hey, if you join my mailing list, I'll send you my free ebook. And so it's kind of after the fact, they thought about what to do with it. And so now they want to do the opposite, which is say, let me think now so that when the thing is done, next year, I already know what I'm going to do with it instead of trying to go, what do I do with this now that I have it?
Oh, that is a great question. And it is so smart to invite people along on your journey from the beginning. Tell them, I have this dream. I want to do this. Tell them when you're having a bad day. Tell them, I told you all that I wanted to do this and I haven't even touched it for 3 weeks, right? Because I'm struggling to manage all the things in my life. When you invite people along on your journey, it makes them want to root for you. And if you haven't heard of Story Brand by Donald Miller, pick it up and read it, because the more businesses tell their stories, the more people will join them for their journeys and be your cheerleader and your supporter, right? So Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand, clarifying your message so customers will listen is what he says. But we've really gotten away from storytelling in our culture, sadly. But you telling your story, it endears you to me. When I started face-to-face, I was scared out of my mind. I sat on the floor in an empty room of my house, borrowed my daughter's laptop, and I didn't even have a desk or anything. And now it's 9 years later, and I had no idea if it was even going to work. And when I tell that to you, it makes you feel differently about me and my business, doesn't it? Because I share with you, I started something from nothing. And it still might be just a little business, but it's mine and I have a lot of pride in it. So when you share your story like that, your humble roots, or what was the seed? What was the seed that made you want to start writing this ebook? You had an idea one day. Tell people that. I had an idea and I wanted to help people. And this is how I wanted to help them. And they will join you for your journey.
Can you share any examples of maybe how you've added a story to what you're doing with some of your clients, or maybe even for yourself? Is there a good, I don't know, maybe a couple like snippets of weaving that together, if that makes any sense?
Well, I think I've told you a couple along this conversation already. Incognito, tiny dog accessories, right? She couldn't find accessories for her tiny dogs, so she decided to create her own and sell them online. Let me think of another couple ones. Oh, one of my clients is a transportation and trucking company. They started, I just love when people invite me into their stories. It makes me feel honored, really, that they trust me, and it makes me feel connected to them. So the owner of this trucking company here in Denver told me he started in this shack just with 2 trucks. And the shack was so tiny and the windows were so so bad that when any of the trucks would drive past, even with the window shut, the dust would just come pouring in and jack up the fax machine all over again. You paid your dues.
Oh, wow. Alexandra's asking a question. You want to bring that up, Shane? That way.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for sharing all this. So when you said people like to go along with your journey, you meant like if I have in mind just now, I'm a coach as well, and I'm a photographer, and I use Facebook and I use Instagram, and I've been thinking about sharing with people stories that has happened to me, but I'm like doubtful of if that's gonna, I don't know, just now when you said that about people like to engage with you in your journey, but I'm not sure if you're saying this like talking about the past and your story, or it would be like great just to engage them with your story right now and what's happening right now, what you want to create.
I think it's both, Alexandra.
Okay.
It's, do the work to develop your story so that you can tell it well, right? And share your frustrations, and then share how you found a creative way to solve it, right? People love that. In Donald Miller's book, Building a Story Brand, he's even more specific. He's like, you tell a story about one of your clients.
Mm-hmm.
You don't use their proper name, of course. But you share, they came to me and this was happening. And then we started working together, and now. So, see, you're not the hero in their story. They're the hero in their story. You're the guide.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You ever think about all the powerful stories that we are so drawn to? Luke Skywalker, he needed a guide to help him, right? So you are the guide in people's lives. And when you frame it like that, they get to be the hero in their story.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So would you recommend posting, while you're posting some of that, like in your live Facebook or your story, how long of little like videos how long would the video be in order to be just something that people just engage with it and not get bored with your story, or you're saying too much, or because I know the span of attention is really short right now, and we will be talking to everyone, but also millennials, right? They are very used to this kind of thing. So what would you say about that?
Okay, I like that. That's a specific question. For a while, Facebook was really urging you to do shorter videos, under 3 minutes, because people's attention spans are pretty short. But then I think they saw that a bunch of people were just throwing up any old garbage. And it didn't have a lot of value. So I think what you want to focus more on instead of length is value. Am I really presenting something that's going to help this person today, this week, So I think you asked a little earlier, Shane, too, how often you should post, and I don't think we addressed that. I say if you're not going to post at least twice a week on Facebook, it's not going to be effective for you. Can you post every business day? Yes, surely. Can you post more than once a day? You could, but make sure there's a variety of posts, right? Because what will appeal to one person may not appeal to the next. So video content, focus on quality, substance, more than length. If it's a 5-minute video, but it's really good content, people will watch it. And it will stay up and it will keep getting views for a long time. So I was talking to another radio station and they were freaked out about the video thing. And I said, guys, listen, create one good video a month, right? Something of substance that people will really enjoy. They might even want to watch it more than once. At the end of the year, you'll have a library of 12 videos that you can post again and again. Why? Because they're not time sensitive and because they have value. The added benefit to that is you can use that on your website, right? You can use it on your Facebook page, right? You can use it in a myriad of ways. So I think videos with value and substance are what you're going for, and whether it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes, 7 minutes, don't worry so much about that.
Okay. And then you said something about the organic. It has to be organic. It has more value to the viewers that it's something done. That it looks professional, but it's done organically with your phone at the instant of what was happening. So that is more like, that gets more likes and views.
Yep, you're right. I'm holding up one of these. This is just a little handheld device that I can throw my phone in, and it takes steadier video. It's about $150. I really recommend it. You can see from the handle here, you can just set it up on something so that you can get video of yourself if you want, but it'll hold it steady for you, and it's way better than just holding your phone like this, right? So $150, totally worth it.
On Amazon or what?
Yeah. I have the Osmo brand. That's what it's called, and I like it. Another thing I should mention is that 80% of people on Facebook are on Facebook on their phones. So if you're going to take a video, take it upright because it will show better on Facebook. Okay. Because if you're on Facebook and somebody took their video like this, then what happens? Yeah, when you're watching it's really small and there's a lot of space on either side. Yeah. And it's not that great. So portrait mode. No, it's like, yeah. Okay. That's right.
Well, thank you. This is very interesting because since they started with the tool of Facebook Live and Facebook and the story, I got a little bit scared of those tools because
Most of us are. It's pretty intimidating. There's no safety net, but
No.
the risk is worth it. And as they say, fate favors the bold.
Okay. Well, thank you for all these because I never thought that this life thing had so much effectiveness on the today. So thank you. So I'm thinking about as a coach and as a photographer. I do a lot of videos too. So I've been trying to unite the two professions, just to sell myself as I am. As a coach, I can, create videos as well to motivate people, etc. But it's a good way to explain, to have that tool and just go with it and just say, this is me.
You know what, Alexandra, if you're a photographer, the world is your oyster. Because I think of Ree Drummond, the pioneer woman. She started with a little blog, but she took great pictures of her process as she was creating these recipes, right? And the combination of her fun personality with her great pictures helped demystify cooking for millions of women who just follow her show now. So Ree Drummond, Pioneer Woman, can be your inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, totally, 100%.
Ree with an R or Bree with a BR?
Oh, it's Ree, R-E-E, Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. She was a New York socialite and met a rancher from Oklahoma, and it turned her life upside down. So she has her own cooking show on the Food Network.
No, got it.
And probably half a dozen best-selling cookbooks. Yeah.
The name's familiar, but the Pioneer Woman threw me.
So it's Ree, R-E-E. Yep.
So our calls are usually from 6 to 7:30. So we're coming up to about the last 10 minutes. So I didn't know if anyone else had any other questions, or Jenny, if you had any other closing thoughts, if you'd like to promote your business or have them go anywhere to look more information up about you or to contact you if they'd like to. What's the process of people reaching out to you if they're interested in what you've been talking about and want to know more? I know you mentioned you do offer a consult, so.
I do, thank you. It's my email is face-to-face, FACETO, FACE@Q.com. Or they can go to my website. It's jenniepoppenger.com. That's with an IE. I do professional speaking. It's not the main thing that I do, but I do offer that. And as you mentioned, I do 1-hour consultations where I'll look at what you have and come to you with recommendations of how you can maybe grow your business through social marketing on Facebook. So, yeah.
And one last question I had about how you operate. I know you mentioned that you do a monthly check-in. So if someone came on as a client, what would that look like? You have the initial consult and then you have a monthly meeting. I know you mentioned you have a folder, so they're sending stuff to you and you put it in a folder, but what's the kind of interaction, I guess, between the client and then you as their kind of professional marketer?
Right. We just schedule that appointment. At the end of each appointment, we schedule the next month's appointment. And it's their opportunity, honestly, to communicate with me whatever they'd like. But I usually ask them, what have you liked? Is there anything you didn't like? This post got a lot of results. This one didn't get hardly any. Should we do more of this? Do you want to, we talk about upcoming promotions for the next month. So I really try and offer a lot of extra with my services, and I have them branded for they're FaceTime, saving face, and about face. So it's really easy. One's Tuesdays and Thursdays, one is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and one is every business day. So that's how I work it. If people have additional specifications, for instance, I was working with a breakfast restaurant that wanted all of their posts before like 11 in the morning. So I just did a small upcharge to accommodate them with that. So, yeah. The main thing I would urge everyone to remember about Facebook is it's really relationship marketing. Ben said it at the top of the meeting, is it's not just return on investment, it's return on engagement. So use the word you. You is the most persuasive word in the English language. And use a lot of questions in your posts. Have you heard? Did you know? What do you think? And because when the human brain sees a question in writing, psychologically, we want to answer that question. So if you use the word you and use questions, that should help with your engagement. But really just try and have fun with them, respond to every single comment. Say, thanks for, thanks for playing. Follow through is just really important.
I have one question. So I have my personal Facebook page, and I created my business as well, but I haven't launched it. So like I'm curious if I should my business is going to be public, so it's not going to be close to only my friends. So how do you do that transition? Like I send that request of my friends to like my page, or I do not, and I just go without my friends and just, go like that. How would you suggest that?
Have you published your page yet?
It's published, but I haven't I just created it.
Okay. Well, Alexandra, I do have some specific advice for you on that. Go in and invite like 6 to 8 people a day. Don't go over that, or Facebook will think you're spamming people and it'll start to get grumpy with you.
Oh, okay.
So it's better to invite, say, 80 friends over the span of a week instead of inviting them all at once.
Oh, okay. So, okay, that was a very good. Okay, so depending, so every week, how many friends you said I
So
invite?
just like every day, go in and invite 10 people.
Okay,
Right.
good. Thank you.
Sure.
I've been trying to post a couple of the things that you were saying there, Jenny, because the notes. Shane and I work on trying to produce the call afterwards, in the sense that we try to send some notes out with the video so that people can kind of get an idea as to what the content is. And then, the chat log pops up as part of the after call stuff. So, we'll certainly give you copies of all the stuff so you can see it, make use of it however you want. Is there anything in particular, like people choose face-to-face, or they choose Jenny, because of, I don't know, XYZ, like is there a big reason, or do you find that everybody has a different reason as to why they pick you? They find you engaging, they find you funny, they find you, I don't know, professional and able to get them engagement? I mean, is there anything in particular that you find wins you clients more than any other thing, or?
Well, I just really try to assure them all the way through that their business is their baby. And I appreciate them trusting me with their business, and I will be very careful with their online reputation, because I don't want to ever take that for granted. That's a big deal when somebody trusts you with that. So, and I'm not a big company where I have, 20 people who are going to follow through for me. It's just me right now. So I really do take the time to get to know my clients and be able to speak as them. So it's kind of like the Wizard and the Wizard of Oz, except I'm not corrupt.
No corruption. That's a plus.
Behind the curtain, nobody knows it's me, but I'm actually working for you and making you look good online.
I like it. How about you, Shane? Any closing thoughts or any closing questions you wanted to ask?
Well, my closing thoughts would be that this was super valuable. I learned a lot about, I'm a little Facebook averse. I come out of the film background, so it's much more, I think, of a default for me to go to like YouTube and Instagram because it's much more visual. And so, I mean, I know about Facebook and I kind of use it almost begrudgingly, but I haven't pursued it in a professional way. And so a lot of the things you were saying not only made sense, but there was also lots of things I'm like, oh, I never knew that. So that was very helpful. And
Good.
I think that relaying the questions that I had asked to you through me is going to be helpful for the other people to listen to afterwards, because there's about like 3 or 4 people who said, oh, please send me the recording. So I think that's going to be great. And I think it's just, one of the things that all of us as entrepreneurs, which most of us all are, we have our own business, we have our own practice, we have a product, whether that's ourselves or an actual thing like a book or some of the projects that people are working on. And I think one of the things to just take away is, I always go back to like a team means together everyone accomplishes more. And so if you build a team like someone like yourself who say, oh, they're my Facebook marketer and they're going to handle that for me, and it frees you up to then do other things. And you're going to be working together, but also they're able to kind of leverage your specificity and your knowledge in that one area. And they don't need to necessarily take all the time and effort to say, I'm going to spend a year learning how to do this. They could spend a year building their business because you already know how to do it. And so I think that is a valuable takeaway for people to say, let go of the reins a little bit, let someone drive. And, that way you can just do more and also have more energy and time to focus on the things that you're the expert at. So I think that is a really good reminder for all of us to branch out, experiment, hire people that have an expertise so that they can help you.
You are right on the nose, Shane. In fact, years ago, Ben and I saw John Maxwell speak in Denver, and he said precisely that, didn't he, Ben? He said, you can focus on your weaknesses, and if you're a subpar golfer and you practice really, really hard, you might become a mediocre golfer. But if you're really good at this and you devote an hour a day to it, at the end of a year, you will be an expert in that field. Wow. So we want to work with experts that make us look good, that are part of our team. Yep, absolutely.
My closing question to you, I just want to circle back around to one question that I had asked earlier, and maybe you can just do this as kind of a closing thought, is the concept of in-house versus outsourcing. I mean, obviously some companies are large and they have, I don't want to say unlimited budgets, but hiring somebody to be a social media manager makes sense. So setting that aside, is there any closing thoughts on outsourcing versus in-house, aside from, the obvious payroll advantage?
Well, companies like United Airlines, they have a whole team of social marketers. And if you hashtag United and you're on a flight and then it's gone badly, they're going to have somebody responding to you very quickly, right? Because they want to manage their online reputation. So if you're a small to medium-sized business and someone like me can come in and spend an hour a month and have a good grasp on what's going on, and then you can supplement them. I'd like you to post this next week or post this. Then that can be a good way to do that. Just like you would outsource your bookkeeping or your housekeeping or anything else.
my final thought is I just want to say thanks again to Jennie for being willing to share her expertise. I mean, like I said at the top of the call, is that, everybody's time is valuable, and I don't take it for granted when somebody that I know is willing to donate their expertise, for lack of a better way to put it. I mean, I'm hopeful that, there's good exposure for everybody on the call, but especially for Jennie, because she's given us her expertise. So, I've got a list of, 15 or 20 people. So this will be going out to probably, 40 or 50 people over the next week. So at least get some good exposure, some good tips out there. And we'll make sure that, do you want me to put your phone number in the notes or the post, Jennie, or do you want me to leave it to the website, or what? I mean, whatever's,
Sure.
I don't want you to get bombarded, but I would anticipate you may get some calls.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you, Ben. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and to you too, Alexandra.
Hi, I'm Shane Borza, a climber, creator, and coach, and I want you to build the skill of health and fitness. My new course is a priceless gift to you, and it's available exclusively on PonoQuest.com. That's P-O-N-O Quest.com. Build the Skill is a minimalistic, functional, real-world fitness program which can help you to move better and get stronger faster. I can't wait for you to check it out, and when you do, please let me know how it helps you. That's Build the Skill at PonoQuest.com. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Solve Network. As a reminder, these calls are held live on the first and third Thursday of each month. If you'd like to join us as either a listener or guest expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com. On behalf of my co-founder, Benjamin Goss, we're glad you are a part of the network and hope you are finding solutions. If you need solutions, please reach out.